Hey guys, my name is JessiMew, and welcome back to Dog Sled Saga. In the last episode, we managed to find our lead dog in Buck, which actually takes some of the stress off of Dharma here because she was not really happy being in the lead. Even though she's an obedient dog, her natural aptitude lied in the middle, just like Striker. So now she doesn't have to worry about being in a position that she isn't exactly suited to. She can go ahead and stay as a middle dog throughout her races, and Buck can take the lead for us, so that should be pretty good, especially as we hopefully go into League 2 today. So after we pay our bills over here, I'm hoping that we'll be able to attempt to qualify for League 2 in the office over here. It's a little bit more expensive to be in League 2, which is why we're going to do the responsible thing and make sure that our bills are paid first. But right now, we actually need to rest these guys because they did just have a pretty rough race, so some of them do need a little bit more rest. So we'll make sure that we are caring for our dogs right now. Dharma is going to have to stay idle for just a little while. We're going to let them rest completely right now. So Buck is completely done, his fatigue is gone, so I think what we'll do is we'll have him train with Dharma, and then Striker and Bandit can stay idle for a little while, just so we can get that extra bit of training in for these guys. So Dharma can go in there, and we'll make sure that she is in the next race when we have that ready to go, and these two can remain getting rid of their fatigue right now. So there we go, they're slowly but surely building their skill bars up again. It looks like Buck will be upgrading to the yellow bar pretty soon, which is good to see, and Bandit is very, very far ahead of the rest. He is doing very well, but he hasn't been swapped out as much as the other dogs, so it does make sense that he would be a little bit further ahead than the other ones. So let's go ahead and do that one more time. They do have one more bar of fatigue left, so let's let them rest again. This should hopefully take care of it though. There we go, their fatigue is gone now, so they can also join in on the training. We're going to have Bandit join in actually because he's going to be our wheel dog for this race. And it looks like our bills are coming up in one day, so this is about it. Let's have Bandit go in here, let's have him train with the rest of his group, and now it is time to pay our bills. So let's see, we can join League 2 now. I guess we could just do that straight away. I mean, we certainly have the funds for it, and we'll have about 700 left over afterwards, so let's go ahead and join. And then I guess we'll have to do the qualifying race next to make sure that we can join, or maybe not. Maybe they're okay with it because we did already qualify for League 2, so maybe we don't even have to do the league again, the league race. Well, that's pretty good. Alright, so we're just League 2 straight away, and that means in 5 days we're going to have our first League 2 race, and our winnings are actually increased because we're in harder races now. So this isn't bad at all, it's much easier than I thought it was going to be. And now in 30 days we need to make sure that we have enough money to pay these bills, but I think we'll be fine. I mean, we're about halfway there already, so I think we'll be just fine. But let's go ahead and continue training these guys. Hopefully Striker's not going to get too lazy because it is a little while left before the next race. And look at that, Bandit is already getting into a brand new orange bar. Oh my goodness, he is going to be so far ahead of the rest of them. Happiness down, did you see that? Oh no, is Dharma having a rough time training so much? Maybe she is. Oh, that's not good. Let's give them their nice little pets then. Hopefully that'll help. Yeah, her happiness is only good, and so is Striker's. These two are very, very similar in their personalities. They both are too proud, so maybe that has something to do with it. I guess we'll go ahead and train them again, but I'm going to keep a very close eye on that because I don't want to see their happiness going down any further. At least we have another race coming up very shortly, so maybe that'll help. She'll just have to go out there and stretch her legs a little bit. Let's train them again a couple more times, just one more day left until that race. And then we'll cross our fingers that we do well with this one. Our first race back in League 2. Technically not our first race in League 2, but our first race back in the second league. So let's go ahead and enter. And we need to swap these guys around once again. Buck definitely does not want to be in the wheel. We want Bandit in the wheel and we want Buck in the lead, and then Dharma can stay in the middle. So hopefully her specialty is going to change over. We were training her in the lead initially because she is an obedient dog, so that's why it still says that her specialty is the lead, but hopefully after another race in the middle she'll be able to switch her specialty. So let's go ahead and start. Let's see how this goes. Hopefully I'll do a little bit better giving them treats today. I know last time I was having a little bit of trouble after taking such a long break from this game. Let's see, I think a Bandit might need it next, and then Dharma, and then Buck way up at the front. Is that going to reach you? Just barely. There we go. Okay, we have a tree to watch out for too. So let's see, are they going to need treats? Luckily they didn't. They didn't need the treats before the tree went through, but it looks like Bandit could use it now, and then Dharma is going to be right behind him, and then Buck way up at the front. Oh, and Bandit's little skill just initiated too. He had the speed boost, I think. But let's jump over this rock. We want to do that too. We don't want them crashing into any rocks while we're out here. And Bandit is ready for a treat after that nice big leap that he did. There you go, Buck. Are you going to catch that? There we go. A perfect throw for Buck. We're in 5th place still, which is a little bit worrying. Hopefully we're going to be able to catch up. Even with that speed boost, they're still having a little bit of trouble keeping up. So let's see, who's going to need it next? Bandit again, and then Dharma, and then of course Buck is right after. And I believe they have the Tangle Free skill that has just been activated by Dharma, so that's good to see. They won't be tangling up in their lines anytime soon, and we did pass somebody, I saw that. It looks like Bandit could use his, and Dharma, and then Buck, but the wind is blowing. Hopefully that's going to reach him. Oh, just barely. Just barely. I'm always worried about that because it seems like it sends the treats a little bit off course. So we just have to keep a close eye on all of the wind that's blowing. And now Bandit needs another, and Dharma too, and of course Buck. Can you catch that? Oh, again, just barely. I have to get better at throwing them to the lead dogs. Definitely. I mean, we spent so long trying to find him. We don't want him to regret being on our team because I keep bouncing little treats off of his head. But it looks like we're ready to feed all of our dogs yet again, and we're in 2nd place now. All right. Oh no, Buck, I see that you're kind of starting to tangle up here too. We want to straighten him out. There we go. We're in 1st. Yes, keep it up, guys. You're doing so good. Okay, so who is going to need the treat next? It should be Bandit. Let's see, we're right at the end too. Okay, let's give them their final treats. Their final treats for this final push. There you go, Buck, right at the end. A perfect toss to him. That was excellent. I don't think we made any mistakes. Oh my gosh, I don't want to jinx myself though. I don't want to jinx myself because in the next race we're probably going to make a ton of mistakes. But there we go. It looks like they're almost ready to level up in fame. And now she has her middle specialty too. That is excellent. Okay. So she is going to be perfect for the middle as well, just like Striker. And once we get to those races where we can have 4 dogs in a race, they should be able to work together very, very well because they're so similar. So they can both run in the middle and then Buck can take the lead, just like usual. So there we go. All of those perfect throws. That was really good. And it looks like Dharma is starting to like Buck a little bit more too. So they'll be able to work together as well. That is excellent to see, and we have another little journal entry to read too. Raleigh told about the racers in the freezing lake. Rescue teams were struggling to reach the victims as it became clear how fragile the ice was. When Aurora and her team reached the scene, her spell of leadership took hold of humans and canines alike. Yeah, I have a feeling that she probably ended up saving those dogs and the mushers who fell into the ice, which is really neat. Now I think if we let them rest just one day, we should be able to train them all at once. Oh, poor Striker, look at his skill. Oh no, it's so far behind everyone else now. Oh, that is not good. We have a sponsorship coming up too. So let's just take a quick peek at this. We want to care for our dogs really quick. Hopefully Striker won't mind. He's getting very lazy over there. What is this for? Let's see, a sled? What on earth does that do? Let's see, make sled friction feel 1 degree better. Well, yet again, I think I'm actually going to stick with the funding because that is definitely helping us out. Oops, I don't want to remove that. There we go. Yeah, this takes up all 3 slots, which is why I can't combine them. But if we had sponsorships that only took up 1 slot, then we could possibly have more than 1 in there at a time. But that's all we can do right now, so we're going to discard the sled sponsorship because I do want to keep the funding right now. And it looks like everybody is done resting up. Their fatigue is all gone. And poor Striker, you are getting so lazy. Let's go ahead and pat them all up. It looks like Dharma's happiness is back up to great, so that's good to see too. And poor Striker, since he's so lazy, he's having a little bit of a hard time too. His happiness just says good. I mean, good isn't bad. Good is definitely good, but I want them to be feeling great all the time. So let's go ahead and switch this around. We want them to train, and we want to make sure that Striker is training instead of Dharma this time, because we like to switch them out since we can only have 3 dogs in the races right now. We like to make sure that they're getting their proper training done one at a time. So let's see, hopefully, yeah, he'll be able to scoot right back up to where he was. I think he jumped very, very high, actually, so that's good to see. It doesn't degrade too much as long as you keep up on them and keep switching them around. How about this race, though? It looks like it's a nighttime race. We have plenty of restocks, And we have 2 obstructions apiece, 2 trees, 2 rocks, so it is definitely getting a little bit trickier. But look at that, first place winnings, that is pretty good. I would like to see that. There are actually a lot of different things that we can unlock here too, I've noticed. I mean, not only can we go into different leagues and hire different dogs, but we can also expand our kennel, which would allow us to have more dogs at a time. And that might also open up breeding for us too, because I think we have to have a spot for the puppies, of course. That would make sense. It looks like we can hire staff too, which I didn't even know about. I didn't know there was staff that we needed to be concerned with, but that's pretty good. There's a lot of stuff that we can take a look at after we gain a little bit more money so that we're sure that we can pay our bills at the end of the month. But let's go ahead and train these guys up again. We'll go back to training. I think everything is set up the way it should be. Bandit is almost at the end of this orange bar too. Oh my goodness. And it looks like Buck is really catching up to the rest of them as well because he's spending so much time on the team. He's going to be one of our highest trained dogs too, just like Bandit, because he doesn't get swapped out with any other lead dogs. So let's see, we have just a couple more days to train these guys. Hopefully Dharma's not going to get too lazy herself. It seems like she's fine though. I mean, she could use a good rest anyway. She could definitely use a nice good rest. 2 more days until this race. I wonder if his skill bar will be all the way to the top by the time it's time to race. Let's see, we'll do it one more time, and now it is time to do this slightly harder race than the last one. So let's see how this goes. Do we have to swap these guys around? Yes, we do. So Buck, you actually want to go into the front again. You are the lead dog, and now they're all in their exact positions here. We have already done 14 races with Bandit. Whoa, that is not bad at all. Okay, and it looks like Buck has a 50% chance of activating his skill this time. Usually this says 0, so I'm really happy to see that he's becoming a little bit better at activating his different skills. I did notice that this is at 50% though. Striker is so very proud. Oh my goodness, maybe it's because his fame hasn't activated in so long? Oh, I bet that's why. His fame is his favorite thing, so we need to find a way for him to gain a little bit more fame, and I'm not sure how that's going to work. I mean, maybe if we throw him that treat when he's going over one of the rocks, if we can time it just right, but that might be a little bit tricky to do. It did look like he started panting first, so we'll keep an eye on him. Of course, since it's a nighttime race, it is a little bit easier to tell. There we go, he did start panting, and then Bandit, and then we have Buck, but there's a tree right there. Just in time, okay. Nothing to worry about, we got it to him just in time. Let's straighten these guys out a little bit so they don't tangle up. And then we'll keep an eye on Striker because he should be next. He should be the next one who needs one of these treats. There we go, it looks like he needs it now. Oh no, was that too far? Oh, that was. Oh no, I'm so sorry, Striker. I always do a terrible job with poor Striker, and I just knocked him in the head too. Oh, and there's, of course, that rock. So we weren't able to give him some fame that time. That was a little bit rough for poor Striker. Dharma seems to have a little bit of an easier time when she races with me, but we'll get the hang of Striker, I hope. Let's give this to Buck once again right by that tree, but we got it to him in time, so nothing to worry about there. And there's some more of those treats for us too. So I believe this may have swapped around. Bandit might be the first one. Yeah, he needs the first treat, and then it's Striker, and then it is Bandit. Or not Bandit, Buck. I'm sorry, Buck, now I'm calling you Bandit. That is not right at all. Let's keep an eye out for that other rock though. If we can time this just right, then we could hopefully give Striker a little bit of a boost in his fame. Okay, there we go. This might be your chance. Oh no! But I didn't time it right at all. Oh, poor Striker. Poor Striker and poor Buck. Oh my gosh. So we're in second place. I mean, that's not too bad. That's not too bad, but it would be great if we could just get a little bit further. I have a feeling this race is probably almost over, but it's not too bad. I mean, this is supposed to be a bit of a tougher race anyway, so it is expected that we would have a little bit of trouble settling into League 2. But we'll get the hang of it, and look at that, we're in first anyway. Alright, so let's make sure that these guys are fed. There we go, not too bad. So we managed to win it despite all of our troubles with poor Striker. He must be so upset with us right now. I am so sorry. We're going to have to scratch him behind the ears a lot once we get home. And look at that, fatigue capacity up on him too. Whoa, he has so many bars on his fatigue capacity. That is going to be very good for us, especially if we struggle with all of those treats again. Poor Striker is going to need such a big rest, but that actually works out pretty well for us since we want to swap him around with Dharma anyway. And Buck also had a little bit of a tricky time just getting his bearings there. But there we go. So they had some perfect throws and whatnot. Unfortunately, Striker still hasn't really gained much in fame. Just one little point, and apparently that is not enough for poor Striker. But we do want to let them rest now. We definitely want to get their fatigue down a little bit. So we'll give them 1 day to rest like we usually do, and then we'll go back to the training regimen. So let's put the caretaking option in here and proceed with the day. It looks like we have yet another one of those sponsorships coming up. We still haven't found anything that could beat the funding, so I'm not really holding out for that. But these guys have 2 more bars left in their fatigue. I wonder if we should let them rest again, actually. I mean, just 1 more time? That might be a good way to do it, or we could wait for the next race, because I want to make sure that their fatigue is completely gone before we think about racing. So let's see, I think I will do that. I will let them rest 1 more day, and then we'll swap them around, and I'll let Dharma start training with Bandit again. And then Dharma should be able to take the next race, whichever one it happens to be, if it's the 4-day race or the 11-day. Actually, let's check this out. So the 4-day race doesn't look that bad. This actually looks similar to things that we were doing before, though the restocks are a little bit lower than usual. Yeah, this one has abundant restocks. Actually, this one looks even easier. Wow, okay, that might not be too bad at all. We do have quite a bit of money too, which I'm happy to see. We're going to have a nice cushion around us when it's time to pay our bills again. So let's give them their nice scratches, Striker especially, because he had such a rough day. There we go. And now let's swap this around. We'll train our dogs instead, and then we'll make sure that Dharma is in here instead of Striker and Buck. So they can stay idle, and Dharma can train up with Bandit. There we go. We'll proceed with that, and that should allow their skills to start restocking to where they were before. There we go. So 1 more day of resting for these guys, and their fatigue should be just fine. And then we can put Buck back in the training regimen as well. And it looks like Bandit is going to get a new bar pretty soon. That is crazy. Okay, so let's put Buck in here now. Let's put Buck back in the training regimen, and then we'll let Striker rest during this next race coming up. And let's see what this new sponsorship is too. Let's go ahead and proceed with the day. Funding. Okay, so is it going to be any better than our previous one? It's only 5%, but it also only takes up 1 slot. So that's interesting. I mean, what if we put that in there, and then we were able to accept one of the other sponsorships that we were getting, like the food bag? We get that all the time. I mean, it's less funding, but it might be a good idea for us right now. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll give that a try. We'll get rid of our level 2 funding, which is so sad, our 10% funding. Hopefully that's not going to come back to bite me, because we do definitely want to have that cushion that we saw before. But let's see, we have this next race to do. I think we're okay because everyone was done resting, so we should be okay. Let's go ahead and race this one. We'll give it a try. Now let's see. It looks like everyone is actually in their correct spot this time. Excellent. Okay. This is definitely our favorite team at the moment, because their favorite things are much easier for us to take care of than Striker's obsession with fame. So Dharma likes consecutive catches, Buck does as well, and Bandit likes victory, and luckily we have been winning all of our races so far, so not too bad at all. Let's figure out who needs their treat first now. Who is going to start panting first? I believe it was Bandit, so I'll keep an eye on him. And he should be the one who needs it as soon as he's ready. As soon as his breaths start glowing. There we go. And we have this to jump over. We have some treats to give them, but unfortunately I threw it over their heads. It is a little bit harder to figure out where they are when they're jumping over the rock, which is probably why you get a little bit of a fame boost when you manage to do it properly. If I line up the treat before I jump over the rock, that might be a little bit easier actually. Maybe I can give that a try next time. And we need our treats. Our treats are almost out. I'm kind of regretting not picking up that food bag before. There we go. There's our restock. Luckily, Bandit does not feel like stealing any treats from us today, so we don't have to worry about that. That would be very rough if he decided to do that on a race where we don't have many treats to begin with. So if he does decide that he wants to steal all of our food, we might really want to consider loading up on that new food bag. But there we go. Now they're ready for their treats, I believe. We have to straighten these guys out, though. Oh, Bandit, you missed it. There we go. And we can give it to our other dogs as well. There you go, Buck, just in time. And we're in second place. All right, only 1 more person to pass. Let's see. Can we get there fast enough? If one of you would do your speed boost, that would be great, too. We'll have to keep an eye on your panting. There we go! Bandit must have heard me. Perfect. Let's give them all their nice treats. And, oh no, oh Dharma, don't be too proud. Not now, as we're so close to the end of the race. Luckily, it didn't harm us too much because we still came in first, and we still won 800 of these little credits, so we're doing just fine, I think. There we go. So just a little bit of exhaustion on Bandit, and he did a wonderful job. And his fame went up too. Excellent. You're becoming a famous little wheel dog for us. And let's see, Dharma was a little bit harder than Bandit. She had a little bit of a harder time, and it doesn't look like she's leveling up in fame just yet. And Buck also had a little bit of a harder time too, but not too bad, honestly. I mean, they'll just have to rest a little while before they're ready to train again. And it looked like Buck also leveled up in fame, so there we go! We're getting a famous little group of dogs on top of it all, and it looks like we have just one more journal entry to read before we end out the episode. So Raleigh told me more about Aurora and the lake incident. 3 rescue teams trusted her and followed as she led them across the treacherous ice. Several later said she kept looking up to the sky, all full of northern lights. The victims and their aides all made it back alive. There we go, so she did manage to save them. Looks like we can qualify for League 3 too, but I don't think that's actually the best of ideas because that's going to put us in the same situation that we were at before, where we're not going to have enough money to pay our bills if we go into League 3. But it looks like that is well in our future if they're already letting us know that we can qualify for League 3. And it looks like we also just have like about 100 more of these credits to pay for our bills after getting rid of our level 2 funding. So honestly, that's not that bad. I mean, we're still going to have a very big cushion at the end of the month, so I'm happy to see that. But I think that's about it for this episode. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye, guys!